All right, you just finished doing a couple of Desmos lessons. One of them was Can You Dig It, where you were looking for sand dollars. The other one was Anchors and Floats. Both of these were looking at getting you accustomed to looking at positive and negative numbers. So for the sand dollars, we were looking on a horizontal number line. Going right would be positive, going left would be going negative. And then anchors and floats, where when you went up, a float, that was a positive, and then when you went down, an anchor, that was a negative. So it's just kind of getting you familiar with positive and negative numbers. So let's look at some vocabulary. First of all, an integer. These are what integers are. Integers are the positive and negative whole numbers. Positive and negative whole numbers. So no decimals, no fractions. They're just whole numbers. That's what we're going to be working with for this next couple of weeks. So remember, you can represent these on a number line. The further you go to the right are all of your positive numbers, and to the left of 0 are your negative numbers. Okay. So let's just look at adding and subtracting, first of all. So if we're using a number line, remember, when you go to the right, you are adding. When you go to the left, you are subtracting. So to represent this on a number line, if I have 6 minus 9, I would be starting at 6, and I take away 9, so that means if I'm subtracting, I'm going to the left. So I go 9 places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that leads me to negative 3. Okay. If I have negative 3 plus 7, I start at negative 3, and then I'm going to add 7, so I'm going to go to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I end up at positive 4. And then the last one here, if I am starting at negative 4 and I take away 3, I'm going 1, 2, 3. So I'm ending at negative 7. Okay. A lot of times with positive and negative numbers, I like to kind of put it into real life context. I always put it with money because that seems to what we are familiar with. If I have $6, but I loan somebody $9, or in my bank account, maybe I had $6 and I paid out $9. So now I'm in the hole $3. Okay. I was in debt $3 and I made $7, so now I am back on the positive side, and I have 4. So dealing with money sometimes helps. Okay, we can't always have a number line, things like that, so we have to have rules that go along with it. All right, so you have a notes page. So you're going to fill this in as we go along. So I'm just going to go, today we're only going to work on adding integers. We're just going to work with adding integers. So just this section here. We're not going to move to this subtraction yet. Just adding. All right. So if we are adding integers is probably the easiest ones. If they are the same sign, then you're going to find the sum. And then keep the sign. Either it's positive or negative. So for example, if you have 2 positive numbers, you would add them together and keep the positive sign. So plus 3 plus 2 is plus 5. That's normal addition. Okay? But if you have all negative numbers, you still add them together and then you keep the sign of the negative number. So negative 3 plus negative 5 is, negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. Okay? Again, with money, I owe somebody $3. I owe another person $2. So in all, I owe somebody $5. Okay? So you gotta kind of remember, same sign, sum. Okay? Same sign, find the sum, then keep the sign. Okay. We'll go back and write this down in a second. Okay? So let me just go through a couple of them with you. Now we're still adding here, but this is where it gets a little tricky. If we have different signs, if there's different signs, you're going to find the difference, but then keep the sign of the larger number. So let's look at this for example. So I have negative 8 plus 2. So I'm going to find the difference of the two numbers. 8 minus 2 is 6, and I have more negative numbers, so I'm going to keep the negative sign. Okay? If I look at this, a positive 8 and a negative 2, they're different signs, so I'm still going to find the difference between the two numbers. So 8 minus 2 is still 6, but then now I have more positive numbers, so my answer would be positive. Okay? All right. Let's look at my example here. If I have negative 10 plus 3, I have different signs. So different signs, so I need to find the difference between them. So 10 minus 3 is 7, and I have more negative numbers. Okay? Let's see what this is. So this is just a visual representation. If you have different signs, if you have more positive numbers, your answer is going to be positive. But if I have more negative numbers, my answer would be negative. Here's another visual representation. So if I have positive 7 and negative 4, if you think about it, a positive and a negative, they cancel each other out. So these would cancel each other out. So all I would be left with is a positive 3, which again, find the difference between these two numbers. 7 minus 4 is 3, and I have more positive numbers, so it's a positive 3. Okay. All right, so let's go to your notes page and let's write this down. So there's the addition. So again, you're on this square right here, this square. Okay? All right, so you're going to write same sign, same sign. If you have the same sign, I think that was actually already there. Yeah, same sign. It was already there. All right, so you're going to write add and keep the sign. Okay? Add and keep the sign. So a positive plus a positive would equal a positive. Negative plus a negative would equal a negative. Okay? So pause the video if you need to and write this down. All right, then I want you to write down these examples. So this part of the addition is easy. It makes sense. So 13 plus 17, that's 30, and they're both positive, so it would be a positive. You don't need to write the plus there. It's implied that it is a positive number. Okay? 14 plus 12, same sign, find the sum. Okay, so that's 26. They're both negative, so it would be a negative 26. Okay, I think that one's easy to understand. This one is a little bit complicated. All right, so let's write addition. Again, you are on now this part right here where it's different sign, different sign. All right, different sign. You're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger value. Okay, so different signs, find the difference. So you're going to subtract the absolute value of the two numbers and keep the sign of the bigger value. We didn't talk about this. We probably need to. Absolute value is just the distance something is from 0. The distance something is from 0. So if I have a negative 7, its absolute value would just be 7. It's 7 away from 0. All right, pause the video, and then we'll do the examples together. All right. Go ahead and write down the examples and let's work through these. All right, so there are different signs, so find the difference. So finding the difference is just forgetting the signs. What's 15 minus 9? Okay, that would be 6. Now look at your problem. There are more negatives, so that means your answer would be negative 6. Okay. 23 and 8, they're different signs, so find the difference between those two numbers. So that would be 15. There are more positives, so it's just a positive 15. Different signs, find the difference. Okay, so I'm going to go, this number would be the higher number if I were not looking at the signs, if there were no signs. So 75 minus 32 would be 43. There are more positives, so it's a positive 43. Last one, different sign, so find the difference. So remember, we're just looking at as if they were positive numbers. So 98 minus 63, I'm going to find the difference between those two numbers. That would be 35. And there are more negative numbers than positive, negative. Okay? Now, if you put these in terms of like money, I think it makes a little bit better sense to you. So if I owe somebody $98, but I pay them 63, I still owe them $35. Okay? If I owe somebody $32 and I earn 75 working, once I pay them, I still have $43 left. Okay? All right. So again, we are only working on the addition part today, So I've got some practice problems for you to work on. Refer back to your notes. Remember, same sign, sum, different sign, difference. I think hopefully saying that to yourself will help you. All right. If you need any help, just let me know. Have a great day.